rights today does not mean that you will have rights tomorrow.
You will never rise higher than the women you stand on. When the black woman rises, the whole nation rises with her. They don't control you with force alone. They control you with narrative. If they can shape how you see yourself, they never have to touch you.
Welcome to the Black Pearl District podcast, where community, culture, business, and purpose meet. Hi, I'm Kelly Cunningham.
And I'm Natima. And today we have a very special guest. Her name is Kelly Cunningham, and she is the proud owner of Beyond Our Dreams Daycare.
Welcome.
Welcome, Kelly.
Yeah. So we have a few questions for you because today you are our first guest.
Yay! Yes,
And
number one.
So what we want to do is we want to start interviewing other businesses, preferably Black owned, female owned. So this is great. This is a great opportunity so people can understand the challenges that a lot of us go through as minority women.
Things we face in certain industries. And I know the daycare industry is really huge because, you know, we started off as caretakers.
Yeah.
So now you are using your God-given abilities to serve others. And we love that.
Yeah. I love it so. So, Kelly, our first question for you today is, what inspired you to open a daycare?
What inspired me to open a daycare? I think the main reason why I chose the daycare path is because, number one, I'm a woman, but I'm also a Black woman. I live in Schenectady, New York, where we don't have a high Black population. So I thought it would be integral for me as a Black American to open up a business to serve my people, our people. What inspired me to do it also, I was at work one day and I used to work 80 hours a week at times. I was never home with my children.
I remember that.
I used to do overnights. Any shift that was available for me to make money, I would be on it. So I was at work one day and I remember working at this, I don't want to disclose the name of the agency, but I worked at this agency where I was like a clinical associate and then I would pick up overtime at the houses. So my background has to do a lot with people with disabilities and stuff. So I worked with them in the houses for years and years and years. Then I was at work one day and we didn't get a raise. And I just remember just being so angry. And I shared the office with my boss. And I came in and I don't want to say her name, but I said, "Hey, boss, I'm going to be researching my new business because I can't stay here any longer." And she looked at me and she said, "Do what you got to do." So I did what I had to do. So I contacted OCFS, which is the Office of Children and Family Services. And that's where I got my start. Once I started researching from there, I was like, okay, so I know what I need to do. Now I have to get my house together. That took a lot, that took a lot. And what I want to say to people is I think that daycare is a great industry, but with any industry, if you don't have money, you're not going to go too far. It took a lot for me to start up, even though I was in my home, because when the state comes out to do your policy and your planning, they also come out and they do code enforcement as well. And when they told me the list of things that I had to do, I was like, all right. I think I was making like $14 an hour at that time. Wow. So I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I did it. I come from a big family, and I remember my sister. Two of my sisters actually helped me. One helped me with my home portion, and then once we got all of that done, I was like, oh, I gotta have some things for the kids to do here. I didn't have any furniture, I didn't have any supplies and stuff. So my sister, I remember her giving me $1,000, and she said, "Kelly, I'm gonna give you this $1,000," and she was like, "This is for you to start your business." Wow. And with my $1,000, 15 years later, here I am.
Wow, that is
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
That is
It's
amazing.
it takes a village. It
Yeah,
takes
it
a
does.
village. That
Yeah,
is beautiful.
this is you have to have a desire to want to take care of kids as well. Um, when did you realize that it was your calling?
Well, I feel like God gave me a good gift, right? He gave me one of the best gifts ever. And like one of my best gifts is being a mom.
Mm,
So,
Right.
I take that was what drove me because I know I'm a good mom,
Mhm.
and I've always been there for my children. And I just look at the world today, right? And because I'm in a home, it's different from being in a building. That also is a turn off for a lot of parents. Some people
Mhm.
want that and some people don't want that. So I'm just good at what I do. I know how to be a mom. And so if I can take care of my kids and I can love on them, I knew that I would be like just great dealing with other people. So
Yeah. Yeah. You have to have a heart. You have to be a special. You have to have that special gift to take care of kids,
mhm,
especially other people's kids.
yeah.
So we are
Patience,
grateful that
tension. Yeah.
there's people like you in the world that can do it. Um, I know that people think that they can just open up a business. They can just, hey, all right, I'm gonna go open up a business. I'm gonna open up a daycare. I'm gonna open up, a dispensary. But there are challenges. There are challenges to open up a business, and you
mhm,
have to be able to deal with those challenges and accept those challenges and try to get around those challenges and
mhm.
continue on. So, what are some of the challenges that you found opening up a daycare?
Okay. So I went into this industry with like a blindfold. So I had no
Mm.
prior knowledge of what to do. I had no idea of what I was doing. I come from a background of working parents. I don't come from a background, let me rephrase that. My mother always worked. My father always owned his own business. So I never had anyone to show me what to do. A lot of the challenges was just that. Like just I'm learning as I go. And when you learn as you go, you fall a lot.
Yeah,
So I
for sure.
fell. I fell often, but I wasn't discouraged because I knew that's what I wanted to do. And also my background, my work background, helped me a lot because
Right.
that set a foundation. Because when you work at these different homes and stuff, they have their policies, they have their plans intact.
That's right.
So I said, well, you know what? I know I can do it. I've done it. I come in every day to work with a plan, and a plan is laid out for me. But when you have your own business, there's no plan. So I just took a little couple of notes from different places and I comprised them together along with the internet. The internet took me a long way. And then I did know one woman out here that was a child care provider. And she didn't share a lot with me, so I would ask her questions and I don't know, sometimes I would get discouraged from her. But she would be like, well, just go ahead and do it. Don't have these toys. Don't do that. She didn't really give me much. So I'm like an open book. So if someone asks me for the knowledge that I have, I'm okay with sharing it, because everyone's not going to be you. So
That's
I'm
right.
not going to gatekeep because just because I can do it doesn't mean you can do it. But I can give you some tools, and then you go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sharing. Sharing is
It
caring
is.
because people don't like to share that information,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they feel that it's going to make them look bad and you look better.
Yes.
So
They look
that
at you
is
like competition.
that is like
You know.
you don't even have to
Mm-hmm.
be in the same area,
Right.
but they feel that it's competition.
Yep.
And we, as hopefully Black women, we have to learn how to share. And if
Yep.
somebody can do better than you have to support that
And applaud it.
and
Yep.
applaud it. You can't, get mad because they're doing better. You can't. You have to,
Or learn from them
you have
because
to learn from
sometimes,
them.
especially if you newer, fresher ears, someone that had a daycare for like 40 years, things have changed since then. Children have changed since then. So you really have to take that into consideration. Like this is a new person, new on the scene,
Mm-hmm.
younger kids. You gotta, learn how to get with the time. So taking And I always say that even with nursing, like, they say you eat your young, right? So with nursing, they're the ones that just came to school, so they understand more, they know more, right? So you got to utilize that. Don't be scared of it. Embrace it. And that's what people need to do. We need to start embracing new ideas, new thoughts, and, new people.
Yes, share the love. Don't be jealous.
Yeah.
Don't be spiteful. So, be support that business, support that woman, and help. Be there. Don't be jealous. Don't bring us down. That's the problem. I feel that with a lot of us, that we are so jealous. And that's just saying that. That's just saying it.
When you love yourself, but when you love yourself,
right,
and you're in a good space and happy in your space, you don't have that same thing.
That's what I was going to say.
That's what it is.
If you want to be,
it has a lot to do with who that person is,
right?
And
how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
That's why mental health is so good. You got to love yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You really do.
And a lot of mental health goes into dealing with children, because when I first started, all I did was work. And when I tell you I worked, like, I didn't even care what kids came to me. If you said you needed childcare at 9:00 at night, I'm here. I need a child. I didn't have any money. I needed to make money.
Right.
So I was like my schedule was so sporadic.
Mm-hmm.
I would like have a child at 7. They would leave at 5, and maybe I would do an overnight for children. It was just like so sporadic. I never took any time for myself. I ate bad. I didn't really take care of myself. And then at one point in my journey, I was like, you know what? I really need to give back to myself, because I made my life everyone else's life. So then I didn't have a life anymore. It was like, what does Kelly need today? What does Tima need today? How can I help them? How can I support them? And I did a lot for my parents. I would have parents that, I thought I could fix the world. I thought I could fix the world, because it's not as easy as, we say help this person because they only need a pair of shoes.
Yes.
And then you get them a pair of shoes and they're looking at you like, I didn't ask you for that. Yeah, I didn't ask you for shoes.
Right.
I need a car. Right. So I would take these parents, I would pick up the kids from home because parents didn't have cars. And this is just like the legwork. This is the beginning of the foundation. So I didn't care. And you say work and I want money, I'm going to go do what I need to do. So I was providing transportation. Most of the time, these parents didn't pay me. They didn't pay me because they couldn't afford to pay me, but I used to charge $25, $30 for transportation. Then in the beginning, it's all cool and dandy. You get your $25 and cool. Then next Friday, it might happen for a good 4 weeks. And then the next Friday, then you start hearing stories. Oh, I can't pay you today. I have to pay you tomorrow. And then it comes to a point where you start building relationships with people, and it's like, I really want to help her, because I remember my struggles as a single parent. So I want to help her.
Right.
Okay, I'll pick up the kid. And then sometimes I would be picking up children. I open up at 7:30. I come to pick you up at 7:00. You're not ready until 7:35. It started impeding into what I had to do. And when you have your own business, people are waiting to point the finger. I knew she wasn't going to be good. I knew she wasn't going to be ready. So I had to step back and say, you know what? I have policies and procedures for a reason. Because I started not following them for Kelly and not following them for Tima. I had it just became very challenging and very stressful. And you can't close, because parents have to go to work.
Right.
They have to be at work. They hired you for a reason. So it will be times where I would be stressed out. I would be crying. And nobody knows that because no one's there watching you build this business. It took me, I want to say, about a good 8 years before I said, Kelly, you cannot be afraid of losing parents. You cannot be afraid of losing children. I would tell any provider, any beginning provider, follow your policies. Do not shy from them. Follow what's in the book and make sure you stand with them. Don't shy away from them.
Yeah.
What would you say was your most rewarding?
To this day,
moment.
The most rewarding part of being a provider is having someone else's child tell you that they love you. So at the end of the day, and even in the morning, I open up the door. Even before I open up my door, I can hear kids running down the pathway. Miss Kelly, my Kelly. I mean, I just hear it, and it just makes me smile. So if I get up and I'm not having such a great morning, I didn't have a good start to my morning. When you hear a kid that's looking forward to seeing you, it just changes your whole day. Then I would get kids like at the end of the day. It's very chaotic at the end of the day, but kids at the end of the day, you would think they would want to go home. They've had enough of me. Okay, like I am very assertive. I am strict. We follow rules, right? And at the end of the day, when their parents would come, I would be at the door waiting for them to leave, and we're looking around like this kid done ran away. So that is so rewarding to me. It's so rewarding.
This is good information. Tell me, what do you think about the Black Pearl District podcast? Not the podcast itself, but
the idea of
the idea of
great question. I think as a bit, like I said, when I started, there was no one for me to say, hey, what can I do next? Or what do I have to do? Where do I get grants? Where do I get, how do I start this business? I think that the Black Pearl podcast, I think that this is just me. I feel like Black women, we need like a sister group, a mentor group beyond a podcast, because when I leave, what's going to happen? This goes into the airwaves. Everyone sees it, but then it's like you still have questions, and you still need support. And not saying that these two women are gonna be the shoulder to cry on, but it's good to talk to. Like I always tell you, Kelly. Like
don't even do it.
No. I really admire you. I really do.
Thank you.
And I think it's important for us as Black women to see more Black women like you, because we don't see it.
More Black people like you.
I mean, I'm here. I'm here.
Right.
But you have more of a solid. It's always good to have a person that has more experience. Because that's where you learn. I learned through falling. Not to say that you're gonna give me like this golden ticket, and I'm never gonna have any pitfalls. But knowing I could call you and be like, hey, Kelly, you know what's going on over here, and code enforcement came in and they told me so and so. Just using you as a network, we need networks. That's why you don't see us, because if I wasn't as resilient, right, you can't knock me down. Okay, even when you knock me down, I'm gonna find a way around to get back up. Some people can be knocked down, some people can be discouraged, and just having another voice. Like even when I talk to Tima, we don't talk a lot, but when we talk, we talk. And Tima, she just gives me like a plethora of knowledge, and sometimes I walk away and I don't tell you, but I'll be like, okay, well, I know what I'm gonna do next.
So, do you like having your business at your house, or is your dream to have it somewhere else?
Okay. I love working from home, and I love working from home because I'm not like a people person. People think I am, but I'm really, really not. I like being in my own space. I don't have, and that's another thing. You don't have the freedom that you think you are gonna have. So if you think you're gonna, I have 2 kids and I want to raise my kids in a home while I do daycare, I felt like I struggled with that because I had a son, and my son is 11 now. When I first had my son, I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. I can
be home with my son.
Well, you know what you wind up doing? You wind up neglecting sometimes your child. I would be like, well, I'm going to feed everyone else because I'm his mother. I'm going to make sure he eats, So I would go through my day and I would be like, okay, let me get this baby. Let me get this toddler. Let me do this. And then I would be looking at my son like, I didn't even feed him yet. Look, I want to spend more time with my son, but it really turned into me not spending a lot of time with him and then relying on my husband and my daughter and my son to help with him. Let's get back to the question because I know I've veered away from it, right? So I just feel like being at home has its perks. Would I like to go out into a daycare center? I feel like in Schenectady, and I don't want to speak too much, but I feel like I know a lot of people who have ventured into brick and mortars, and they weren't successful. They weren't really successful. I don't have problems with code enforcement because I'm also an OCD person. I am always cooking and cleaning and straightening, and I like my house to look a certain kind of way.
So the problem was code enforcement for a lot of these businesses that closed?
They come in and they give you things for, we rely on, we have a referral service through OCFS. And when people go into the referral service, they're looking for childcare. You click on the provider, and then you see citations, right? And I'm not going to take my child to a place that has multiple citations, Why do they have those citations? I can tell you why. I've had a lot of citations. Haven't had a lot of citations, but like I said, I'm OCD, so I'm cleaning supplies. You're always cleaning, because for me, I can't close. I can't close because I'm sick. I can't close because my kids are sick. I can't close because another child got sick. So I'm always like cleaning. And it just be like the damnedest places where you can't leave things. So and then when we say cleaning supplies, in my mind I don't think like dish detergent is a cleaning supply or hand soap is a cleaning supply. So I would put those things underneath my kitchen sink. Of course the kids are not coming in the kitchen, right? But when code enforcement comes in or when your licensor comes in, kids can go anywhere. You turn your eye for a second and somebody might be out the back door.
Right.
So I used to get a little upset about those things. And I'm like, you know what? Licensors and code enforcement are actually there to help you. They help me be better.
Right.
So if you don't look at it negatively and you take a positive perspective, and I'm always choosing a high road, I'm always trying to find the good in something. And so they've taught me a lot. Some of them are stricter than others. Some of them are kinder than others. But when you're dealing with people's children, no one. I'm not looking for kindness when my child, maybe got a hold of a cleaning agent that now I have to call poison control for. So it's bigger than the kids are bigger than the program. Right. The kids are the program. Without the kids, there's no program.
Yeah. So I can see that. I still think, it would be a good opportunity if you could be outside, and your challenges. You understand now about code enforcement, so you understand. You're not a new.
I'm not a new provider.
Provider. So you could survive outside.
I can.
You could survive
so
outside.
I've done that though. In the beginning, so I have a 2-family house. When I opened up, again, I didn't have a blueprint. I didn't have anyone to say, "Hey, you're jumping too far. You're reaching too high for the stars, right? You're not there yet." I opened up one side. So one side of my house I had daycare. The other side I had me. Okay, well then, if you don't have any money, now I have to pay a full mortgage, and I don't have an income. Like I'm relying on children so I can pay my bills. So I had the mortgage, and then I have daycare expenses, and then I have food supplies, and that's why I say you need money, because it took me at least 8 years to start making money, so to have a surplus. Like I wasn't broke, you guys. So I don't want you to think that you're gonna be broke and it's gonna be a hard. I had money to pay my bills. I did have the money to pay my bills. Did I have any left over? Probably not, but I made my bills every month. And you have to be okay with suffering. I'm okay with, suffering for a little while. I've been through hell and I've been there a couple of times. I know how to dip my feet in and pull myself back out. And that's what I do. But like for me to brick and mortar, I had an opportunity to do a brick and mortar. There was a daycare that closed down, and I think it was Tima. You know this daycare. I'm bad with directions and speed. But used to be in the church, and they were selling it. And when they was selling the daycare, they was selling all the supplies inside of it. And then me and my husband decided to go a different route, and we opened up a restaurant. Okay, and yeah, so I did have an opportunity, and then I took another opportunity. Right. Do I want to do that again? Am I looking for a brick and mortar? Possibly. But we do have a lot of new regulations and standards that was passed down. especially for like teachers and assistants and stuff. Before you didn't really need much education. Now they want you to have certain degrees, they want you to have certain credentials. And so it makes it harder because we can't operate. So I always think about that, and then I'm like, okay, I'm safe
Right.
here. Like I found safety in my home.
So when I build my Black Pearl District,
hmm
we're going to need a daycare center in there.
I'm here.
So that is that is that is why I asked the question. And but we have to build together. We have to build together. This is the way we're going to start. We're going to start. We're going to start. We're going to build. We're going to do it together. And that's my goal. My goal is to build a Black Pearl District to where
all the
Black
needs of our
businesses can
community
thrive in a community that because a lot of our communities don't have um, a lot of things for our people. People are either too scared to live in the communities that we live in, or don't want to take care of our children, or hard. So yeah, this is something that
it's important.
Representation matters.
Yep, and it's important.
And when if I see Kelly running a successful business, that makes me want to, well, I wonder what she's doing. How does she do that? Do I need to go to school? What do I need to do to attain her success? And people have to see it. Like how we watch basketball. We watch basketball stars. How do you think kids get inspired to become basketball players? They see people that look like them.
They see people that look like them. They want to be successful like
That's why hopefully one day I have my practice.
Yes.
One day you will
I am going to have my practice.
To me, it's not fun just being successful by yourself. It's not. It's not.
It's lonely at the top.
It's lonely. It is. I don't know. And so this is really not. My husband always say, "Well, why don't you go home? You're never home. You're always gone." It's because I feel like there's always stuff to be done, and there's always things to get better. And in order to get better, you have to be there. You have to be there for people. And I think that's a little bit of my weakness, is that I'm always trying to help and support people's ventures.
That's not a weakness.
Well, who supports me? I think people may not support, but they appreciate. And so that's not really my concern, because I got God.
Amen.
I feel like I got God to support me, and I feel like I have a calling to be where I'm at, and I have a calling to do what I'm doing. And yes, I could be doing a lot more in different directions, but I could be doing things that are just for myself, but that's not my calling. It's never been my calling. My calling has never been to just take care of me.
Never.
And I think that's just how I am. My calling is to
pour into others,
to support others. My calling is to, as I grow, other people grow with me. You know what I mean? I don't want to grow alone. I want to grow with a team. I want everybody to, benefit from the growth. And so that's why I started this podcast, and that's why I called it what I called it. Because one of these days, I'm going to have a Black Pearl District, mark my word. And it's going to be, we're going to start something for us, because we don't have togetherness. We don't have connections. We're not connected.
Something happened within the Black community,
and
none of us can put our fingers on it.
We used to be.
We want to, but even with me, with daycare, I think sometimes people they give up too easy, and for whatever reasons, I don't know why you don't feel like you would be able to be successful, but
it takes money.
Right.
A lot of it takes money, and I understand that. And a lot of people that are in a different, say, nationalities or different ethnics, they have money, and they pool their money together, and they make something happen, and then they give it, then they expand, and give it to, okay, it's your turn, and those are things that they do. So we can do that too. We just have to trust each other, And we just have to always think about the other person instead of thinking about yourself.
That's
right.
If you think about the other person, more than yourself, then you don't have to worry about, you know, that's how you build trust. That's how you build trust.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, and you have to always give people the benefit of the doubt, and that's what I do. I always give people the benefit of the doubt.
I think we just like as Black Americans, we have a history. There's a
Yes,
lot of history, but
yes,
behind our separation, it wasn't
yes.
like we just woke up and said, "Hey,
I don't want to be
I don't want to be
bothered.
by you.
That's
I don't
Right,
want to help you. I'm
right,
going to be jealous of your success."
right.
right.
There's a lot of dark history that we
Yeah,
don't even speak about
yeah.
because a lot of us, instead of talking about our problems, we try to push through, and then that's where the mental health comes in. That's where you get people. You wonder why some people are standoffish. You wonder why some people don't want to be a part of things. It's because they've tried.
Right.
And like me, I've gotten burnt so many times, and I could be sitting down angry and upset. But what I've learned through my experience being a provider is that that's just one person,
That's
and that's just
right.
another. It could be
Right,
multiple people
right. But
that
Right.
burn
everybody's
you,
not
but
like
everybody
that.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm 15 years. It took me 14 years to get a good group of parents. And like my parents that I have now are phenomenal. When I tell you outside of daycare, we've built like relationships. My daycare never closes because if someone calls me and say, "Hey, my car broke down," or "I need to go here and I don't have someone to keep said child, bring them over. Bring them over." And so I never close. I take these kids. I'm taking kids. I have an 11-year-old, so my son has bonds with these children. So when it's time for us to go, it's just him. He's like, I'm gonna name a couple of kids. Okay, call Bob. Call Jace. Oh, can JJ come? And Ivan. He's always calling these kids names, and I'm like, of course. Of course. And then when I get to the parents, I'm like, "Hey, so and so, I'm gonna go, Kelly, whatever you want to do." Sometimes I get, "Don't bring them back," But it's like, "Well, how much do you need me to spend, send for you?" And sometimes I'm like, "Don't send anything." And then other times I'm like, because I used to pay for everything. I'm like, my kids were in daycare at times eating crab legs and shrimp. Okay, that's how good we was living. That's how good we lived. So
We really have to break the cycle.
yeah.
And one thing
You
is,
do.
Kelly, I like your style. I
Mhm.
like your heart.
Thank
I
you.
love your heart.
Thank you.
And, you know, these are the kind of people that we have to grow with.
Yeah.
People like you know? So, um, you know, you, Keisha, like Keisha Renee. I love that name. That name
I
should be
know.
like, somebody with
Mhm.
but, this is the kind of people that I want to attract, I want to grow with. And then as we grow, people will see and learn and that this is the way to be. And maybe we can just
Keep
grow bigger
encouraging.
with other
Yep.
businesses and, you know, instead of trying to knock down other business or compete with other business. We can
Yes.
be our own business, and people, like will gravitate towards good
Right.
businesses, good people, and stuff like that. And I know you're not looking for more customers or more big, kids like that, but you know, but you're trying to also help other people um, that are thinking about daycare or thinking about starting a business
Mhm.
and not to be afraid of all the challenges that that's gonna come your way.
Community is important. Community is important in daycare because without the community, you have no customers.
Right.
So one of my biggest things is keeping the kids safe. Knowing that you're dropping your child off at my house,
Hmm.
and I'm
That's
not gonna
big.
lie to you. Sometimes they come out better than you send them in.
Right.
I'm brushing teeth. I'm washing faces. I'm telling you, I got like the old auntie grandmother aesthetic.
That's
I
good.
mean, the kids walk out shining with bunches of Vaseline. The Vaseline face is real. I had a parent say that. She was talking to her mom on the phone, and she was like, "Oh yeah, she's a real Black woman. She's like, the baby got all this Vaseline on her face. Mommy, so that makes me feel good, because it's like you went the extra mile. Do I have to moisturize your child? No. Do they look nice moisturized? Yes. And kids, what I do with the children is I build up, their self-esteem, because a lot of them, they come from spaces where, like me, if I'm always working, who's helping my children? Who's helping them grow? Who's giving them, like my daughter will say it to this day, you didn't know, you weren't ever there, you weren't home. And it's like, at first I used to feel so bad about that, like, geez, like maybe I shouldn't have worked as hard. But if I didn't work as hard as I did, like, you wouldn't have.
She wouldn't be traveling abroad with a college education.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No shade, no tea, miss. Yeah. But mom did a lot.
Yeah.
Because Shakaya is. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
She is very well traveled, intelligent, amazing young lady. She is.
Yeah, and that's because of community as well. She went to Schenectady High School. She had really good teachers. She had really good mentors there. That's a part of our community. A lot of the children that go to Schenectady High School, I have their baby sisters. I know some of the parents there. So it's a big sense of community. I just really started advertising for daycare. You see me on Facebook, but I've not done that in 15 years. Okay, I didn't have to. I didn't, because it's word of mouth. Like when you do good, you get good. When you're good to people's children, I will say this. A lot of my parents are selfish as well. Okay, and they'll tell me, I'm like, give me some referrals. You don't have friends that have kids, Kelly. I'm not sharing you. I'm not. And I'm like,
no, we don't want that child in your daycare.
It's not going to change, though.
But we don't want their friend's child.
Right.
Yeah.
So I get that. Well, but it's all about business and customers and community, and and that's important. That's why we always try to give
where
back.
can people find you? Where can they find you or get in contact? If you want to be found. Well, you know what? Hey, how about this? They'll reach out to the Black Pearl District,
right?
And when they inbox, if they have questions, we'll have Keisha reach out to you and just let you know. And we'll use Keisha as the
Beyond
buffer.
Our Dreams.
Is that good?
Google it.
Beyond Our Dreams. Just the beginning,
Yeah, but what I'm looking for, I look for good parents. The kids are like secondary. Like, my biggest issues in the beginning were with parents. Taking advantage of my time, not caring about my time,
not caring about me, not paying for your
not
time,
not paying, not thinking that they should pay. Right? Not thinking that you should pay for a service. Some people feel entitled and privileged, and a lot of, because we're in Schenectady, a lot of my parents, they do receive services, so they receive subsidies. So when you don't have to pay for things and they're giving to you, sometimes you take those things for granted, and that's what I dealt with a lot, because like, if you pay $300 a week for childcare versus a person who does not have to pay for childcare, who's going to want the most out of, for their bang for their buck?
The $300.
You don't have a buck, right? So it's like, I can treat you this way. I can say this to you because I have a lot of options. I can go.
Anybody's going to want my $300.
Right? I got a subsidy. So it's important for me when I look for parents. When I look for children, I look at the parents. Certain people I don't even want to deal with. So that's why I don't advertise as frequently, because certain people I just rather not deal with. Money is not everything for me. It takes money to enjoy the things that I like to enjoy in life, but sometimes I would rather not have it.
All money ain't good money.
But she is on Instagram, so you can find Kelly. What's the name of your daycare?
Beyond Our Dreams.
Beyond Our Dreams on Instagram if you want to find it. But we so our goal is to interview businesses, different types of businesses. So hopefully you can learn from their experience and also be a part of our Black Pearl District podcast. So Kelly, we want to thank you for coming out of your
question. No, I do have a question.
Okay.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
I know we touched on this in the beginning, but when are we going to start this mentorship program?
Okay,
Because
so
you heard how I put myself in it.
yeah,
Right.
you did.
Yes, because you are definitely
Yes,
I feel like
amazing.
it's important.
Even
I
with
really do.
she's really into her fitness, which
Yeah.
that's one thing I know. You know, every conversation is okay, Tima, when you go into the gym with me,
Right.
because she feels like um one of the major things, especially with Black women, is fitness and taking care of yourself.
Yes. And
And
that's what
that
I
is
was trying to
something.
touch on with Kelly. Because, like,
Right.
who supports you? And that's where I get a lot of my support from, honestly. When I go to the gym, it's like, that's like when I'm really like feeding myself, right?
Yeah.
Because I can jump, I can curl. You can't, if you are not in shape, don't open up a daycare. Right? You got to get on the floor with these kids. You got to be able to
That's
run,
true.
move. Don't do it.
I
You
don't
got to be able to move quick.
You got to move
That's
quickly.
right.
Yes.
Right.
So I am looking forward to this mentorship program because I do have a lot to give, but I want to take from you. I want to pour into my cup because I feel like my cup
running.
It's not run up yet,
No,
but I want it.
I got you.
You want
it to overflow.
Yeah.
You're right. Yes, that's
all
right.
right. Well, you know that could definitely.
So we definitely we talked about like going on the road and like really talking to women and doing and eventually getting into that
right
where we're doing symposiums and things of that nature.
We don't have that anywhere.
That.
Right. I mean, I'm
they have the relationship ones.
So let's
they love
start
the
with
relationship
Kelly.
ones.
Okay. Let's see what it is your needs are.
Okay. How,
and let's see how we could help.
Okay.
So that's what we're
So we'll
do.
have her back on, and we'll
So we're gonna we'll work with Kelly. We'll set up something, and we'll see where we're at and what we need to do and how we can help mentor, and because that's what you know. If that's what you need from me, then that's what I want to give to you. But I think a lot of people probably does need that mentoring, because you have to really. And I have a lot of friends that are very successful business.
Yes, you do.
Women. A lot of friends that are very successful, and that can also help with anything. I have I'm on the board of directors for called Scholastic Talent Inc. for the youth. And a lot of my friends are on that board, and a lot of them that are on that board are very successful. So one thing you need to learn is you have to be around successful people if you want to learn. Yeah. Or and you should, as a successful business person, you should always want to mentor. You should always want to help, always want to mentor, and always want to see other businesses grow. So I try to. So I move with my friends that are very successful. But I am not. I also always try to bring people with us. As we grow, because the two friends that I have, I help them start their business.
I appreciate the love
and they are very, very successful, more successful than I am. But that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. All right.
So
we want to thank our special guest once again, Kelly, for coming in, and she's on her way to the Chris Brown concert. Okay. Come on now.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And I'm really blessed. Like I must say we have a lot of strong Black women that we do mentor or that we fellowship with, because this is more like a fellowship, right? This is what fellowship is about, and I'm just really grateful to them. And I am going to also take some of the energy that you both put out, because I need to start mine.
Yeah, we are helping the team us start up her clinic.
Yes. And Kelly has also been kicking my butt about it.
And I'm going to continue to.
Yes.
In the gym.
Yes.
Yep.
Some things, you have to do, and then people then help.
Yes.
You got to start it.
I got to start it.
You got to start it, and we will be there for you. But nobody. The only person that got a turnkey business is my son.
Oh, your son. Anyway,
get ready.
He did get a turnkey business.
Yes, he does. Yes. So I must say that please follow, like, and subscribe to the Black Pearl District We really want to grow this because we think there are so many more amazing people out there who would benefit from this or who can help others in our community. So please like, follow, subscribe, and watch our videos. Check us out. Make comments, ask questions, because this is not just about us. It's about our community.
And we have our next episode. We also have a very special guest coming, and I would say stay tuned because it only gets better.